guys, it's me, and I'm here, and boy, would I love to be doing this podcast, but I'm far too busy playing a game that shouldn't take me half an hour at a time, but keeps doing that.
Oh, yeah, please indulge us. Also, welcome back to another Low Effort Podcast, everybody. We talk about what's been in our brains for a week. How's it going, man? What's been in your brain this week?
What's been in my brain? Well, I think we hinted at this at the end of the last episode, Trey.
Yeah.
You and I can talk a bit about this, and I think that we can also, let's convince Tyler. Tyler, you want to get into auto chess?
Maybe.
I think
we will find out.
I think you'd like auto chess.
Yeah.
I might.
I think you'd enjoy it.
Well,
yeah, I will
me.
say. Yeah. So, I mean, for me personally, I know this is also something me and Trey have. There's three major auto chess games. There's auto chess.
Yeah,
which is just
the original developers who. Well, I guess to give a little background, auto chess is a mod for the game Dota 2. It was a mod where you collect a bunch of heroes, you upgrade them, and then they just like auto battle each other for rounds, and there's like a whole economy system. It's a lot more complicated than it seems initially. But yeah, the auto chess devs are the ones who made the original Dota 2 auto chess.
Yeah,
and now they have their own game because Volvo caught wind of it and they sniffed money.
Yeah, it's almost the Dota effect of, where when Dota first became a thing of Warcraft 3, and then League of Legends happened, and now Dota 2 became its own thing.
You mean how Valve makes all of their games?
Kinda, yeah.
I'm just saying, Team Fortress 2 was also a mod, and so was Counter-Strike.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
I had no idea.
Those are both mods.
I had literally no idea.
Those are both Half-Life 2 or Half-Life Arena mods.
Really?
Back in the day, yep. And Portal was actually, I think, was a GDC showcase or something?
Something like that. It was some sort of like indie game project.
It was an indie game project, and they just snapped it up and just kind of took it. So Valve besides Half-Life, Valve doesn't really make.
What about Left 4 Dead? They made Left 4 Dead. Well, they don't make any games anymore, but...
Well, yeah. Left 4 Dead is actually a technological showcase, I believe, initially, for large amounts of NPCs on stage at once, and then they just kind of turned it into a game.
No.
That one, I'm pretty sure, is the closest they've gotten to a game, though. But, like, most of their big games, like Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike, and I guess now Auto Chess, are literally just mods from some of their other games, and they just kind of. And I guess Dota 2 as well.
Yeah, Dota 2 was literally a mod.
It was a mod for Warcraft, but they.
Yeah, as an aside, I know we say we never want to be the League of Legends podcast too much, but man, it is fascinating to go into the whole MOBA history. I want to delve into it right now, but just seeing the amount of shitty MOBAs that were out.
Oh, goodness, there's so many.
The MOBA craze was something else, wasn't it?
Yup.
Yeah, y'all remember the Lord of the Rings MOBA on PlayStation 3?
I try to forget it. I try to forget that existed.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Played it, but
it was a thing. It wasn't good.
I think I've played way too many of them, and I only really enjoyed, I think, Smite for a while, and Heroes of the Storm was fun.
I kind of liked Heroes of the Storm.
I did like that.
Blizzard
it was different.
Mostly
it was different enough. I like the rotating maps. That was cool.
I just like that you didn't have to memorize item combinations like nuts.
That's true. They did take a lot of the complex.
They simplified it and they kind of sped it up, and I liked that a lot.
Yeah, it was definitely a casual MOBA. I like how they tried to do a competitive scene for that game, and far be it from me to say a game can't be competitive, but there is just way too much RNG in that game for me personally to enjoy it. Between map RNG and then just hero RNG, and then.
Yeah, not having items in general means that if somebody has an ability that just counters one of your abilities, you can't build anything about it.
Yeah, there was definitely just hero counters.
Yeah, you can skill and try to counter it that way, but it's not nearly as good as an item counter. You can't build magic resistance; they're just blowing you up with the spells or something.
Yeah, but either way, MOBAs were a thing. Now they're all doing auto chess, and I guess we'll kind of talk. So again, there's the three, like I was saying, three kind of major auto chess combatants, I guess I'd say. There's auto chess proper, which personally I've never played.
I've watched the mod. I don't know much about like their variant now. I'm assuming it's slightly different, but I have no idea.
Yeah, but there's that one. There's what is Dota 2's actual one called?
Underlords. Dota
Yeah.
2 Dota 2 Underlords.
Okay, so that's what Underlords is. That's auto chess.
Yeah, that's an
Okay.
auto chess. Yep, just with the it's basically auto chess with the licensed versions of the characters.
Yeah, it's very
Got
much the same. There's some major differences, but they took a lot of most of the units in the initial release are literally just the units they had in the initial release of auto chess.
Yeah, and then in classic Riot Games fashion, once they saw that Valve and Dota was doing something, they quickly try to cash in on it.
Yes.
And they made Teamfight Tactics, which is their version.
They made the
And
most successful one. I mean, it's Riot Games.
Granted,
Yeah.
didn't Underlords just come out?
Underlords-
They came out slightly before TFT, actually.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it was all within a week of each other.
Yeah,
I
like
want to
a
say,
week
right?
or two. It was very close. All three of them came out within weeks of each other.
Yeah, but anyway, the thing I kind of want to get into it is, I guess, Trey, you said you've been playing a lot more Underlords than TFT, right?
I watch more Underlords than I play, but I do play. I don't love TFT. I think there's some cool ideas in TFT, but I think this is a little too much RNG for me in TFT.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing with TFT and for me as well, is it's very RNG based, not so much on the units, and you get to make some decisions that matter, even if you're not doing well, but you can essentially, to try and pitch it to Tyler, like, you have the units, like we were saying, and you try to level them. They all belong to certain factions, so you try, and when you have like X units of a certain faction, I think this works in Underlords as well, correct me if I'm wrong.
It's the exact same. It's the exact same.
Yeah. When you get like X of a certain faction, your team or members of that faction get a pretty substantial buff.
Yeah,
Okay.
so say like you're running like say demons, you get like if you have enough demons or like enough sorcerers or warlocks or whatever, your entire team gets a buff. And so you want to look out for characters of that faction so you can start building around that.
Okay.
And also every character has an ability. They say ultimate, but it's not always the ultimate ability of the character they're using. But it's every character has a mana bar that fills if they do or take damage, and when their mana bar fills up, they can use an ability, and their abilities they range in usefulness. I'm looking at some of the TFT abilities are
Yeah, we're looking at you,
hilariously
Rek'Sai.
bad. Yeah, are hilariously bad. But then you have stuff like Karthus or Aesol or Aatrox,
Misfortune.
or just like
Yeah,
Misfortune,
oh my god.
where you just like body their entire team.
Yeah, and
that's a consideration too.
Yeah, I guess the big things, if you had to break it down with any of these auto battlers, is you're looking at balancing an army while balancing an economy, making a strategy off, like, because you earn income every round, and if you don't spend all your income, you gain an interest. And you also
every 10 coins you have, you get 1 interest, and that stacks.
Yeah, and then to a certain degree, you arrange where your units go on this map. And especially when it's later in the game, you kind of arrange to try and go against your opponent's arrangement. Yeah. So that's the part I like the best.
Yeah, I feel like it matters more in Underlords because it's a bigger map than TFT. I think it's like 2 grids longer on either side.
Okay.
Than TFTs are, but the counterpoint to that is that TFTs are hexagons, whereas whereas Underlords are squares. They're just
okay. So TFT allows for like a diagonal or something.
Yeah, things can attack diagonally. And I know, like, I think we're a little opposed here because you play a lot more TFT than I do, and I enjoy Underlords more, mostly because I'm a sap for polish, and Underlords is way more polished than TFT.
I will agree with you. Like, TFT, especially from some things with the item, because also I should mention the characters can get items. I wish in TFT at least they had item recipes.
Yeah,
like
I think
built out.
They have in the PvE now. They have actually, if you hover over an item, you can see the possible recipes. But that's not in live yet.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that bugs me. One of the biggest things that bug me. Also, the item drops are fucky in TFT. You can have, just because your first couple of rounds aren't against other players, it's against minions, and each minion has a chance to drop an item. So you can get like 3 items
Yeah, I've seen like streamers who'd get like I think the max I've seen was like 6 items off of one group of minions, and it's just like at that point it just feels really bad to be anybody else fighting somebody with that many items.
Yeah.
It's like round start. That's the one I like Underlords because when they also have the same minion rounds, but at the end of every minion round, win or lose, you get an item. Like you get a choice of 3 items, and if you lose, you get a choice of 1. You just get 1 item just at random.
Yeah. And I think TFT was talking about adding that, but again, it's like you were saying.
They're like going to normalize the RNG, is what they keep saying, which I guess might help. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. They're very. Again, I think my kind of core with these games is they're very fun distractions. I haven't played a ton of Underlords or any, honestly. I would probably try it out. My big thing is they almost feel these games to me feel very close to idle games, almost. It's very, like, you set up things for a couple of seconds.
I see what you mean. I mean, Underlords is even on phones. You can play it on mobile.
Yeah.
I mean, same with Auto Chess. You can do both on mobile. But it doesn't require a whole lot of concentration to play those games. Like, there's a time limit, but like if you're good or if you know what you're doing, you can do everything with like 20 seconds to spare every round.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also just fun to Yeah,
I was talking to Trey about it, and he fucking galaxy brained me on it. Just like I just blew my mind to pieces all over the. Like, I was wondering what the mass appeal was, because these games are very popular streaming games. Like, and I was confused because there's not a whole lot of engagement in the games. There's not a whole lot of technical skill. You don't need a high APM to play Underlords or TFT, right? And I was like, why is it that TFT is like the 3rd most watched game right now over a bunch of other probably more technical games? And Trop blew my mind to pieces because he was like, every time a new set of units comes out, it's kind of like opening a loot box or like a pack of cards. And I was like,
what? No, that's what it is. It does feed the what is it, the Skinner's box or something? Yeah,
it just feeds into that like want to, because like if your streamer gets lucky, like he can just like get a level 3 unit, a 3-star unit, and then just like blow it, or like a really early legend, like a 5 cost unit, and then just like completely blow everyone out of the water. And it's like I had never thought of it like that until he said it, and I'm like, wow, I think you're right. I mean, obviously the technical skill behind it and the fact that it's a low impact game, so your streamer can actually like participate with their audience, I think is also helpful. But I think that's also part of it, is just seeing if your streamer gets lucky, or if you get lucky. It probably is, and it feels pretty good to get like that 3-star on like the 3rd round or something.
Yeah, and I think my other biggest thing is just being able to play it, having a lobby that can support 8 players. Is something I also like. So again, and even people who why I think like we could drag Tyler into it. It's like, oh, Tyler, you can play these because even if you're not great, we can all just sit in the lobby and talk.
Yep.
As opposed to like Tyler, who has listened into more than one lobby of us all playing League or something.
Yep.
Or even Final Fantasy to an extent. Like if you guys are playing Final Fantasy and I'm listening in, I just hear like, oh yeah, dry aggro. Like everybody's so focused on game happening.
Yeah. It's I said, it's very low impact.
Yeah, and in these games, it's very much, you don't have to focus.
Yeah, and you guys and people can just fuck around. I've heard you guys playing TFT just fucking around.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm still loud and competitive, but
which is, I mean, I think that's TFT does do that pretty well. Is that there's so many like different item combinations, and you can stack items and stuff. Like I think that the amount of fuckery you can do, I think, is very high in that game, and I think that's pretty. I appreciate that about it.
Yeah, and I guess
just wish the AI of the units wasn't trash, and also
awful.
And buggy as hell.
Yeah, I do understand and completely agree with you. I think TFT has a lot more of that riot, we wanted to crap this out to get in on the trend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it was easier for them to get on the trend, because the old joke when Battle Royale mania started happening is, oh, when's League of Legends going to make a Battle Royale mode? And they're like, we're not, have Nexus Blitz instead.
Yeah.
Which was a treasure.
Had a Battle Royale, and also I'd bring back Nexus Blitz.
That game mode was a treasure. It was perfect.
I miss it so much.
Yeah, it's what League of Legends needed.
obviously they disagreed.
Yeah, but I mean, also auto chess. I think it just for the amount of effort they have to put in, I think it's fine. And I mean, it's fine. At the end of my day, these are fine, fun games to play.
They're free, and they're all free. So like, it's if anybody wants to pick them up and just play them, you can. Like, there's no barrier to entry. I think we kind of did the sneakiest thing where you have to get it to the client. So, if you want to play some League of Legends while you're at it, you could.
Yeah,
it's sort of their pitch.
I don't know if I want to download League of Legends client, so I probably won't play that one.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think they're talking about making it on mobile too, but I think League has a mobile app. I don't care that much about League of Legends, but
yeah. Honestly, I don't think I've ever gotten farther than downloading the League of Legends client. Like, I think I have in the past done that, and I've just never opened it.
Save yourself.
You made the right choice. Yeah.
You saved your life. You smart man.
Yeah.
Get out while you still can.
Send help. But, no, I think at the end of the day, I do like the auto chess games. The big one that I also think I have with them too, and I know I pointed this out to you the other day, Trey, is I very much want to have, like, if I get home and want to play games, I'm like, oh man, I want to play some Divinity. I need to play Divinity still and beat that game. And I'm like, but it takes like an hour to get anywhere in Divinity. Oh, you know what? I'll just play a game of Teamfight Tactics instead. Which is not a quick alternative.
No,
Teamfight Tactics takes like half an hour.
Yeah, like
unless
40,
you get dumpstered.
Half an hour, 40 minutes, unless you're losing horribly and you just want to give up.
Yeah. But it also you can leave the games like no pressure. You don't get like, a stern like it's not like abandoning a League or Dota game. They're not like, oh, bad, don't do that. Because the only person you let down is yourself.
Well then,
yeah,
sounds like an interesting game.
Hot take.
Yeah,
Tyler. What is your hot take?
What is my hot take?
This week, give us your hottest take. Give us that sweet, sweet sauce.
Okay, well, I never have hot takes, you know that. But
give us your lukewarm take. Tyler's lukewarm.
Middlingest.
I'll give you like my pico de gallo
give us give us your mild
like the
salsa
mildest
takes.
So I started watching just actually the other night new Netflix anime that was released called Seven Seeds.
Oh, that's actually based off of an old story apparently.
Is it
really?
Yeah, it's people have been wanting them to make an adaptation. People have been wanting this to be adapted for a long time. I'm pretty sure it came out in the 90s. If I'm correct about that, I could be wrong, but
okay,
it's a manga I think from like the 90s that people have been wanting to get it be adapted for like 20 years. So
interesting. Okay,
yeah,
that actually kind of makes sense. But.
Now, is this another... Sorry, I was just going to ask you, in terms of them making it, is this a Netflix built from the ground up original, or is this like
I think it is. I think it's a Netflix...
yeah, I believe
Netflix
so.
bought and paid for, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Neat.
Yeah.
Just curious. Go on, though.
Yeah, 7 Seeds. It's basically an end-of-the-world apocalypse type one where... Honestly, I think the description of it is the thing that sells it the least because it's the most generic, in a world that's so difficult to live in, the biggest enemy might be your fellow humans and stuff like that.
Dun, dun, dun!
Yeah, right.
What if human were monster the whole time?
Exactly.
The real beast was man.
What is a man?
Miserable piles. Anyway. That's it's a... So far, it feels like if Lost was made as an anime. So yeah, it's interesting. It's basically small groups of people. There's apparently several of them, and they're apparently all over the world. But the show kind of focuses on 2 groups of 7 people plus 1 guide. So I guess the government was like, hey, we're going to pick these people who are really talented and really attractive and just kidnap them one night, put them into cryo sleep, and then they're gonna wake up way in the future after some comet destroys the Earth.
Right.
and
they're gonna have to
they're gonna have to
repopulate and all that jazz.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the basic premise of it.
All right, I have a question.
Yes.
Is the animation as bad as the trailers makes it look?
I haven't noticed it being particularly bad. Granted, there
Okay,
haven't...
because the trailers make the animations look like dog shit. Like, actually terrible. Like, I was, like, worse than One Punch Man Season 2.
Oh.
Like,
Ooh.
but, the colors are good, and, like, the framing's fine, but, man, the animations are so stiff in the trailer.
I might just not have noticed because there haven't been a lot of really action-y sequences.
Yeah, it's a fairly... I didn't get off very far in the manga, but it was kind of a talky manga. Like,
yeah.
It's considered a shoujo, if anyone knows what that is.
Really?
Yeah, which is weird. Post-apocalyptic shoujo is not a...
I guess so.
not really. Those don't usually go together, but...
I mean, I guess maybe technically. Like, it is supposed to be all, again, young, attractive people to repopulate the world. So technically, like, they're all pretty much 18 and younger.
Yeah. Sounds like something that'd be made by, like, Fox.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, it is like a lot of other US shows, like, let's see, what is it, the 100 and the...
Yeah, oh, fuck that show. That show was garbage.
It follows a similar route as a lot of those shows where it's just, small group of people, apocalypse, dealing with all sorts of crazy stuff like giant bugs and giant carnivorous plants and... in fact, most of the dangerous stuff seems to be on little islands out in the middle of nowhere, and then as soon as they get to mainland Japan, it seems like things pretty much calm down from a nature perspective. Granted, again, I'm not that far. Also, the whole Earth is, like, sunk, so all of the landmarks and everything they're used to, a lot of them are underwater.
Right.
So they know where there's certain vaults, but they don't necessarily know where they are or how to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, that doesn't really remain an issue for very long.
How far are you in this series?
I am only like 3 episodes in.
Okay, I assume the story is pretty good because like it's considered a classic, so I assume the story is not bad. Like,
yeah, I mean, so far
people have been clamoring for this thing for so long.
So far, it isn't a bad story. We'll see. Again, it's like pretty much any post-apocalyptic survival.
Sure.
Or like a small group of people stuck on an island. And yeah, the biggest thing seems to be around the whole, there's a couple that I guess both got frozen, but they got frozen into separate groups.
Oh, okay.
So that they both started in different places. One of them was in a normal group, and I guess they had something like 7 groups in Japan or something 5 groups in Japan, 1 for each season. And then they had a second one for the summer season, which was like, what the hell, we'll just make a group of fuck-ups.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Like, all of them are like, oh yeah, these people are really, like, they're bright, they're athletic, they're attractive, and they're all gonna be, like, they all have some sort of special skill or something they're good at. Like, it seems like one person in each group can just kind of feel what the weather is gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody is really good at athleticism and like taking out monsters, and another person is, I don't know, good at cooking. Like, it's just everybody has that, and it seems like this fuck up group seems to have like a person who is good at each of those things, but they are not at all well rounded. So they all have like their one little skill and then are just complete garbage at everything else.
See, that'd be my favorite group. That'd be the group
Well, that's the group that it mainly focuses on, honestly.
Yeah, that's the grounded group. That's the one you're supposed to root for.
Because like, and like all the other groups seem to know that there was just one group of fuck-ups. So like they ran into another group at one point and they were like, oh, you're those fuck-ups, okay. Like...
Oh, hey, yeah, well, you're the... What was the government thinking?
Right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, we got all these perfect people, but, like, what if one of the groups was just bad? Like, what
just
happens
garbage,
then,
complete
right?
garbage,
like,
yeah.
Look,
And
we're all
it's
gonna
not
die
like
anyway. Who cares?
Exactly. But it's not like you're even going to be around to just, like, see the results of what you did. It's just like, sometime in the future, some idiots are going to have to deal with
It's
it.
just some dude in a chair, just like some troll in a chair being like, "What if? This will be a good goof. They'll get a real kick out of this in however many 100 years."
Exactly.
Start
Nice.
self-fiving. Just got him.
Yeah, but yeah, that's I think pretty much the show in a nutshell. So far, it's been fine. We'll
Yeah.
see how it
I've actually got a perfect follow-up for that, because I
continues?
watched
Oh.
a show that also deals with the aftermath of the apocalypse that also just came out.
Ooh, what is it?
You might know what I'm talking about, Dan.
We might have watched the same thing, Trey.
Okay, so Crunchyroll has funded their own anime, which
is this
is an adaptation
I think I know
Yeah.
what this
of a
is.
manga called Dr. Stone.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
have not watched it yet. Is it good?
Yeah, which has a interesting premise where there's a bunch of high school students, like this guy's about to confess to this girl, and then all of a sudden something around the whole planet starts going wrong, and every single person on the whole world turns to stone. And then thousands of years later, the two people wake up. Like the two main characters wake up.
One is the guy who was going to confess, and the other
His
is
friend.
well, the guy who was going
Who's-
to I was going to say the guy who was going to confess is like the most, at least from the first episode, very milquetoast. His character
he's a
trait.
meathead shonen protagonist is sort of his whole deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's actually not the protagonist, but I won't say anything more than that. I've read the manga, or at least a fair amount of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the show's called Dr. Stone.
Yeah,
and-
but just the way it's framed, it's like the first arc is almost solely about that milquetoast main character. And that's probably the worst part of the whole thing. Like,
Oh, of course.
So what you're telling me is our first 12 episodes are going to be a little dicey.
I'm hoping they just skip through it, like just really, really just blow through it, because the actual Senku is the real meat of the show.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say much more, but there's sort of becomes like this sort of interesting dynamic because he's like a super genius, and he basically has to rebuild the world from scratch using his like scientific knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's the other guy who woke up, I guess we should say, too. Sorry, I kind of derailed you.
Hair.
Yeah.
He's got that pro
Yeah,
tag.
he's
Yeah,
got
like,
that Yu-Gi-Oh hair. Some Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
looking ass dude.
Plus, if you have Crunchyroll,
yeah.
chances are you've seen his face everywhere.
Yeah, they are promoting the absolute.
Yeah, oh, no.
Should. And they should. It is very pretty. It is a very pretty show. I am surprised, honestly. I don't remember what studio made this, but they did a really good job. It is a very, very well done first episode. I love the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I liked the soundtrack. I thought it looked nice. I don't know if I'm sold on the show, I'll be honest.
I'm not sure this season will sell you. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. I don't know what's in store. I don't know how fast they're planning on moving.
Yeah.
But like I said, it doesn't really get interesting until Senku like kind of branches out on his own. Like that's when the story
Yeah.
really picks up. Like and it becomes very good. Like and it's actually reflected. I think iPatch Wolf did a video talking about manga sales at one point, and he was talking about like new shonen stuff and how Dr. Stone had a really rough start. No, people weren't reading it, and then after Senku splits off, it like shot way the fuck up in the charts.
Yeah, and I mean, I also just think I don't know if I like Senku at all. I think I hate him.
He gets better. He's very snarky, and he said he
Well,
likes
and
to,
then,
he
like,
likes to
I
do
can-
that 1,000,000% or like.
Oh yeah, I'm 1,000,000,000% sure, and I'm like, I hate this.
He gets better. Don't worry. He's definitely not as abrasive.
Yeah.
He's not as just stupid. Like. He's not he's not as unbearable as he first appears. You just have to kind of get through him being a like know-it-all for a while.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna watch the show week to week, but I kind of almost dig the premise. I did a bad thing, and I read a character synopsis, essentially. I read the Wikipedia article for the show and read what one of the other characters who will be introduced is, and I'm kind of interested to see
the villain.
Yes, I assume he's the villain.
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm interested. That's something that sounds interesting to me.
That's when it really starts picking up, and I can't say anything more without spoiling it. But just know it does get better. It has a rough start, but it does really pick up, and hopefully the animation and the music like really carries it for a while because it's gonna need it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I also just have too many other shows I need to watch. Like, I have, this point...
This season's got a lot of good anime, actually.
Yeah, it's got a decent amount. Well, I mean, I still have a season of Ava and a season of Bungo Stray Dogs to catch up on, but JoJo's also about to finish up here.
Right.
Which, oh my god, can we talk about JoJo Part 5 whenever we get... We can finish your thing on Dr. Stone, but real quick.
Okay, because I haven't quite caught up. I'm close, but I haven't quite caught up on it.
Yeah, no, we'll put a pin in that.
But yeah, maybe next week I'll make a conceited effort to just finish up with JoJo.
Yeah, I think we've only got about 2 episodes left anyway.
Actually, maybe once it's over, once JoJo's over, I'm just gonna like blitz through it.
Yeah.
So we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, seeing some of the things, I think I've gone on record saying this was my second least favorite part of the manga.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing some of these stuff animated has made it pretty cool to see.
Yeah, the internet blew up over one particular scene. I think you know what it is. 7 pages.
Oh yeah, the 8-page Muda.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. It's like a minute and a half long. Tyler, watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
It's a trip.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've watched, again, the first part, so...
The worst part?
The first part is, objectively... The first part, it's not even the worst, it's just a 30-year-old show and they don't modernize it.
Yep, and it feels like it.
Yeah.
There's literally
it's your
2 things you need to know about it. So, just know who Dio is and know...
I think that's really it. You need to know who Dio is. Know who Dio is and understand that there's a bunch of people called the Joestars.
Yeah, and this is their family line. That's the story.
Yeah, but anyway, Dr. Stone, do you think you're probably gonna stick with it from the sounds of it, Trey?
Yeah, I'll probably keep up tabs. I might just do what I do with a lot of shows and just read the manga and then just watch the scenes I like. But
yeah.
Especially because it's not really an action show per se. It's an action show in some ways, but not in the ways you think.
It uses shonen tropes, but it's not like big, muscly dudes punching each other.
But it is also that.
Is it a deconstruction of the shonen genre?
It's not though. It's not a deconstruction. Okay, I'm gonna put a pin in this, and I'm gonna come back after they've done a few episodes, because there's a thing about it, and it's a very interesting thing that I haven't seen any other shonens do. But it also does a lot of shonen-y things. Also, if you ever the artist who made this manga is not a shonen artist; he's a seinen artist. So he makes a lot of fucked up shit. And I'm kind of confused why he made this.
Interesting.
Fair.
Yeah, like he made like Sketman and stuff like that, like really fucked up Sengen Rock, like really really messed up stuff. So interesting interesting direction to go.
Yeah, that's different. But
there's one more anime, if you don't mind me taking the stage for one more.
I think I actually watched the same other one too.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode, or the only episode.
The first episode of Fire Force.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch Fire Force less than I'm gonna watch Dr. Stone after that first episode. I don't know how to feel about it.
First episode's a little shaky. I'm very middling on Fire Force. Again, this is in a situation where I've read the manga, so I kind of know where it's going. There are some really, really hype fights in the manga that I'm pretty sure they'll get to in the first season. And it's also by the guy who made Soul Eater, and I think it's Bones. Is it Bones who's animating it, I think?
Oh.
So
I don't think it's Bones.
Is it? But it's an interesting one. Have you heard of this one, Tyler?
I think I've seen some things about it, but I don't think I've...
Yeah, so it's set in this alternate reality Earth sort of thing, where there's these... There's this holy order of it's this holy church order, but they're all firefighters, and they're trying to fight these things, these fire beasts, basically. Like, people can turn into these living flames. I can't remember what they call them.
Huh.
I think they just call them infernals.
Yeah, spontaneous human combustion, and they just turn into these, they turn into these big old fire monsters, and they just terrorize the areas. And these like holy firefighters have to come in and like kill these fire beasts. And there's like generations of them, and the later generations of them get like fire powers. Like the main character, his whole thing is like he can light his feet on fire to like shoot, like fly basically, and do like really crazy martial arts, like breakdancing a lot. That's kind of his thing.
He does fire breakdancing?
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of his moves are just like he just like gets on his hands and he uses the fire from his feet to just spin around, just like or he uses it to like just launch himself forward. And I think I know like what your problems with I also had a lot of problems with the first episode, mostly to deal with pacing. I have no fucking clue what some of the setups were. I'm hoping that's just like pilot episode jitters and they're gonna like work it out, because like One Punch Man also had a pretty meh first episode, and that ended up being fantastic.
Yeah, at least the first season. And then it just kind of, for me, it does the it did a little bit of the like too much of a cold open into a world with too many different things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they don't do... It's weird because like, there's a lot of exposition in the first chapters of the manga, but they just kind of skip over them, and they rather focus on the main character's backstory, which they don't really get into until later.
Yeah, and I mean, animes have done it before a lot, where the first episode kind of introduces you to the people, and then the second and third and fourth will kind of build the world around it.
And I'm assuming that's what they're going to do here. My main complaints are mostly aesthetic. I think the animation was great. I thought it was really well done. I just think the framing was like some of the cuts were like really jarring. Like almost like they felt amateurish, like if you were watching like a student video project, but obviously it's animated, so like it was well thought out. But like they just like random music cuts just all over the place too. It just felt really rushed, and that's kind of
Yeah, I mean, I will say the production studio behind it doesn't have a lot of work, actually. It's not Bones.
Okay.
It's the same studio that did, let's see here, Level E, Hyperdimension Neptunia, Cells at Work.
Hyperdimension Neptunia, anime? I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that.
Oh, and it's the people who did JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's David Productions.
Oh, okay.
Trey. Yeah, it's DP. So they're finishing up with JoJo, apparently, and going into this.
All right.
So maybe that's also it, too. They're just just shoveling money and efforts into finishing Golden Wind right now.
Yeah. Okay, no, Bones made Soul Eater. Okay, that's what I'm good.
Yeah. Bones did Soul Eater. DP is doing...
Okay. Yeah, well, I thought the animation itself was actually pretty well done. It's just, I think a lot of the framing and, like, storyboarding was really poor, which I'm hoping is something they just kind of work out as the show goes on.
Yeah,
like,
I will,
make the pacing a little better. I will say I think the manga is good. It's a good manga. It's got some enjoyable moments. I don't think it's as good as Soul Eater was, but
yeah, I mean Soul Eater was hella good.
Yeah,
though.
Soul Eater was hella good. That was a real heckin' good time.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I guess my other thing, just kind of off this first episode, it does this thing where the one character just hates the main character, and at least the first episode, they don't make it clear why he hates him.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, I hate you, new guy.
Yeah.
How dare you be a new guy?
Yeah, they do explain his demeanor later. Like, he's just kind of like that with everybody. But...
Yeah, it's just
I know what you're talking about. Or, like, the fact that people just hate him because he smiles, and that's kind of his...
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's... definitely stuff I could like in it, but it's down the watch list right now.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. Hopefully it gets better. I'm probably gonna keep watching it as it comes out, just because there's some real hype fight scenes that happen pretty early on in the show, so I'm assuming they're gonna get to a lot of them, and I would love to see this animated, and I hope it stays like high quality.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll have to see. I got a whole season of Ava and season of Bungo Stray Dogs to finish.
You got a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And then, like, 3 episodes of JoJo's. And then I gotta beat Divinity 2.
Yes.
Yeah. I do too, actually.
Same here. Wow, guys.
For how much you two talked about that fucking game.
I mean, I love it.
We're talking mechanically. It was a mechanical discussion about mechanics.
Yeah.
Yo.
But anyway, yeah, I think I haven't watched 2 months. It's kind of like I've got the new season jitters. This is a show I want to hunt down. I think you actually recommended it to me, Trey, but I refuse to pay for Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, fucking Vinland Saga is an Amazon Prime exclusive, and that is the best fucking manga. Like, one of the best stories I've ever read, and I'm so sad that there won't be as many people watching it because it's Amazon exclusive.
Nobody's gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, no, because Dororo was an Amazon exclusive, wasn't it? And that show got decently popular.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it won't be popular. I just think that everybody should watch it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't want people price gated out of watching this anime because it's really fucking. Oh, I actually haven't seen the anime. I don't know if it's good or not, but the manga is a masterpiece. Basically, and I guess I'll give a short synopsis. It's called Vinland Saga. It's about the Baltic Wars, more or less. It's centered around Vikings. The main character's name is Thorfinn, and he lives in a little village. And his dad was a fucking I don't remember his name. He was a Viking, and it's got a fairly strong anti-war message, but you kind of travel through the first and second Baltic Wars, and it's really interesting. I'm not a huge historical fiction guy, but the characters are just so well done that it's just a really good story. Like, it's hard for me to sell it, but like, you really, really care for the characters. It does a really good job making you feel for even the characters who are supposed to be like quote unquote evil. Like, the characters who are bad still have a lot of redeeming qualities, and like you get to like really feel like the tortures of like the Viking mentality, like of the whole like you have to die in war or else you don't go to Valhalla and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good. If you have Amazon, I'm gonna watch it like in the next few days. I'm gonna watch the first episode, and I'll give you guys the skinny and if it's like well done or not. I hope it is. I really hope it is, because
the trailers made it look pretty good.
I've been waiting for this to be adapted
yeah.
for like years. It is really, really, really good. And also, I would recommend just reading the manga. The art is spectacular. Like, 10 out of 10. It's like right underneath Berserk for me for like this quality of art. So like, that's a glowing recommendation. It's one of the best stories I've ever written. Very good.
Yeah. And like I said, it's one of those shows that is out there. I want to watch it. I don't want to spend... Well, maybe like when it's done, I'll just pay for a month of Amazon Prime.
Pay for a month of Amazon Prime, just blitz it. I just, man, I mean, I'm so sad that not as many people are gonna watch it as I think should watch it, because even if it's like a Berserk 2016 situation, I still think everybody should watch it.
I don't know, Trey. I watched Berserk 2016. I don't think people needed to watch that.
No. But even you were saying the story was good.
Yeah, I liked the things that were happening. I just hated watching them happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if it's ugly as shit, I think the story is good enough that people should watch it.
True. Vinland Saga does not look ugly as shit, though. It looks good.
The trailers make it look good. I'm gonna watch it. I have Amazon Prime, so I will. Or sorry, my dad has Amazon Prime, and I will just sneak onto that account and then watch it.
It's beautiful.
Besides that, though, y'all playing any games real quick? Want to give the game rundown?
I mean, I already Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah. Besides, is that all you? Okay, that's okay. All right.
Teamfight, Divinity.
Okay.
Well,
I could talk briefly. I've been playing Tales of Vesperia, the definitive edition.
Oh, I wanted to pick that up. Yeah.
I own that. I fucking love that game. That game's a darling, and I love it, and I want to give it a big ol' hug.
Yeah,
you've played it before, right, Tyler? Not the definitive edition, but just have you played Tales of Vesperia before?
No, I have never played Tales of Vesperia before.
Oh.
So this is my first run with the game. Yeah, we'll
I recommend you play it in Japanese dub.
It is too late. I am sorry.
Okay. Well, get used to Whiplash, because they have 2 voice actors for your...
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which I think we talked... Yeah, I think actually Trey and I talked about this before.
We talked about it in one of our podcasts, but it was Yeah, there's 2 voice actors for Yuri because they didn't ask Troy Baker to come back for the definitive edition. So you might not have noticed yet because in the beginning it's just Troy Baker, but you'll notice eventually when Yuri just doesn't sound quite right in some scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just hear like the "It's me" regular Yuri voice.
Yeah. I will say he does a fantastic job, but he doesn't sound like Yuri most of the time. So like. If you can get over that, cool. I actually got over it because I really liked the English dub of that game. But
yeah.
I mean, so far my least favorite part about the English dub is just recording quality wise.
Yeah, it definitely has that definitely has some recording quality problems.
Yeah, in particular, there's like certain characters that are recorded at lower quality than other characters. Like I noticed Carol seems to be at a much lower quality than.
Well, you want to know the fucking crazy thing about that is that you'll notice it too, and this is another thing especially you as an audio guy will notice because there was more lines in this game than were originally added, so they got the actors to come back and revoice those lines. Or like there'll be like different translations of lines and they'll have the actors come back and you'll notice the quality of the audio goes up significantly in those scenes. But then they just go back to the old audio and it gets really poor. It's very confusing. I wish they would have just redubbed the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why they didn't, just because there's so much audio.
Or at least redubbed all of Yuri's lines. Just all of Yuri's lines. Because, like, why switch between Troy Baker and the new guy? It doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Just pick one. If you weren't going to get Troy Baker, just get it somebody else. Just get this new guy and just have him do the whole thing.
Yeah. But so far my impressions of the game are... Well, first, I'll go with a few of my little complaints that I have about the game.
You'll probably get a fair amount of small complaints. I also have my share of nitpicks about the game.
I mean, first one, I ended up having to bump down the difficulty level because as soon as I hit one boss, which was just 10 times the difficulty of the previous boss. Like,
was it a wolf?
Is it?
Yes, it was the wolf.
The wolf in the forest? Yeah. That thing,
No, here's the thing about that boss. You won't fight a boss that hard for a long time after that.
No, that's one of the hardest bosses,
that boss
honestly.
Is so randomly hard. It is just the most random difficulty spike.
It really was nuts. And then I finally beat it, and I continued on to the next town. There wasn't a single save point anywhere in the middle. And immediately I got like attacked in some alleyway and then got stun locked getting attacked by some like thief guys, and then I died and I had to go all the way back before that wolf boss again, and I just
said, I think
screw this.
You can save in the overworld. I don't know if you do that.
I think you can, but when I don't see a save point, my brain just doesn't
think
about it.
You start saving in the overworld, it'll save you a lot of trouble going forward.
There's also some parts of the game, like the one I just went through, that has a very long time. Like, I got to a point last night where I was like, okay, I want to stop for the night. And then it was like another hour till I got to a save point, and I was in the middle of a dungeon that I couldn't just leave.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you get it on Switch, or do you have it on PC?
I have it on PC.
It definitely has that older game or older JRPG thing where like one random difficulty spikes is like a stock standard older JRPG thing. It's like, oh, I'm just breezing through the rest of this. Oh my god, what happened? Why am I dying?
Yeah.
Why is this guy one shot? And also just, save points being an issue.
Well, the wolf is the first fight I also discovered. Apparently there's like special objectives during boss fights. I'm not sure if they do anything for you, but I guess they're there.
You get items. There's items you can get by filling out special objectives. And the cool thing about it is they don't even tell you what they are most of the time. You just have to figure it out.
Yep.
That game is a nightmare for just like not telling the player things.
Yeah.
I think Trey and I think actually when I was playing through Tales of Symphonia again last year, I had the same conversation with Trey. My biggest thing in the Tales games is there's so much in those games that you can just miss because you don't do like one little thing right.
Yep. You just miss it. You like there's a I know Austin actually stopped playing it because he was playing it for a while because there's like one little side quest that actually is like one of the longest side quests in the game. You can just miss it like pretty early on. This the freaking The traveling.
Well, yeah,
the
don't
traveling.
spoil. Yeah.
It's really early. It's like the traveling.
Yeah.
You've already passed it. I don't know if you've hit it or not.
Yeah, I think I missed one of the camps of it.
Yeah.
So I think I've already screwed it up.
The
probably.
easily missable ones that like travels through the whole game with you.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like I think I went to the first and then third. I think I missed the second. So I'm not sure if I
Yeah.
get a chance to go.
I wouldn't worry too much on a first playthrough. Honestly, you'll pull your hair out if you try and like. If you try and like figure it out like that, like you're trying.
I mean,
to, like,
I don't know if
Yeah.
there's gonna
all
be
the
a
hidden
second
intricacies.
playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you say
I mean-
that. You say that. You say that though. But it's a real good game.
So far, some of my other complaints
is.
about the game, one of which is just long, useless hallways.
Welcome to the
Yep.
Tales games.
Where it's just
Yeah.
like, hey, we're gonna load into this map and it's just a hallway, and then we're gonna load into another map, and there's literally no point of that hallway.
That's the Tales game special is what that is.
Yep,
Yeah, I was gonna
like-
say you've played a Tales game before,
That
right?
hasn't changed. I played Berseria. It's still that.
Yeah, I felt it less in Berseria than I have in this so far. But yeah, that's annoying. Then the other big thing that I don't like is that exploration so far really does not feel rewarded. In fact, I feel punished for exploring. Like, I'll see, oh, like, hey, the map over here, there's like this long little like path kind of hidden by the mountains. I'm gonna go over there. And so I go and I go and I go and get attacked by tons of monsters that I just can't avoid because it's a narrow path. Finally make it to the end and there is absolutely nothing. So then I just have to turn around and walk all the way back, again, not being able to avoid monsters, and it's like I just wasted 15 minutes of my life walking down to the end of this and walking back with all the battles in there.
I think a lot of my major love for that game is mostly I love the characters. I think the cast is probably one of the best in the whole of Tales.
Yeah, no, the cast is pretty solid.
Mhm.
And the combat is actually really good once it actually gives you all the systems to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Like once
Yeah,
you actually
no,
get
that's
a bunch
my
of
biggest-
once you get
yeah.
a bunch of weapon arts and once you get like all of your arcane arts and all that stuff, like once you can actually do the combat and it doesn't hold you back, the combat gets really good. Like really, really good. Like very fun.
It's got the other issue that I have with a lot of these kind of JRPG action-y ones where you're actually like, the battles take place in real time, is that moving into a defend state takes forever.
Yep, it does.
So like you click the
can't,
button
like,
and then
quick
it's like
parry.
a solid 5 seconds
there's-
later that
there's
you're
no
finally
parrying.
actually
you
defending.
Have to know when the enemy is about to attack, and then you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
a lot
some
of
of them
them
don't have attack animations really. It's
Nope.
just like, bam, you're hit. And it's like, what? I had no chance there.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, if you're stringing a combo, you can't combo into a block, so I hope you didn't.
Yep. Don't try
So
that.
you feel like, again, you feel punished for comboing, and then you feel punished for trying to actually block, because then, like, you have to then wait for your character to get out of the block animation, start attacking again. It's just like...
Which, again, I think is... Because, like, once you actually have a lot of tools that the game gives you, there's a lot of options that you just don't have at this point. Which I think it kind of adds to the frustration, because you feel like you should be able to do something, and when you... Like, towards the mid-game, you will have options to do in those situations.
Yeah.
But at the point you're at now, you don't. And so you just have to eat hits you feel are completely unfair.
Yeah, there's also
is-
three different control methods to battle, which they all feel completely different.
I haven't tried the... I've only tried the
It
base
honestly
one,
seems
so-
like semi-auto is the only one that is even playable.
Yeah,
Like,
I only do semi-auto. I've never really tried
but
it.
Yeah, I
in
do
some of the other
semi-auto
ones,
usually.
like, I've noticed weird things happening that I don't recall being able to do in semi-auto. Like, I jumped over an enemy once when I was not in semi-auto for a bit, and I was like, wait, how the heck did I do that? Like,
Oh, no, that kind of happens.
it's just weird things happen in that game, and the battles are all over the place. It's... I don't know. It feels like they jammed so many different mechanics and everything in that game, but didn't really polish any of them.
It's a hit. Sounds like a Tales game.
I was gonna say, the Tales games are beautiful, broken.
They're beautiful,
usually
messes.
not perfect messes, but they're pretty games, and the stories in them are usually
good.
cliche
also,
but fun.
Vesperia is still one of my favorite looking of the Tale. Like, it holds up really well.
It really does. Honestly, just the toon shaded art style.
Yeah.
It like.
Yep.
So far I've been playing it, like world map you can tell, but a lot of times just looking at the characters, you're like, that looks like a modern game. That doesn't.
Yeah, I legit, after they upscaled and everything, I think it looks better than Berseria. Like, the character models in this game are way less muddy. I think they're just like better, like more simply designed too.
Yeah.
Like a lot less less frills in their design, which kind of makes them look really clean.
Yeah. I also just like the whole ridiculousness of, because of course, this edition, the definitive edition, gives you all the like.
Oh yeah, all the outfits. Yeah,
all the outfits and class titles and
all the fucking title outfits are so stupid.
They're so stupid. Yeah. But then it's just like things like, I don't know, Estelle, where she's like, "Oh, how did you know I was a princess?" And I'm like, "You're wearing a freaking princess dress."
You're literally wearing a princess outfit. How could you tell?
How could you tell? What? Exactly. Yeah, no, it's... I love those outfits. Granted, I wish you could use some of the things like the glasses and stuff with those class title outfits, but they just get rid of any of the accessory cosmetic thing that you have. Which that's a little sad, but I mean, it's understandable. There's probably a lot of conflict between the models.
Yeah, I mean, they care less in later games, but they definitely try it. When you use the titles that give you outfits, they definitely stick with those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you get any ones from the main story that give you outfits. I don't think so far. Okay,
not
you
a lot,
a couple, not a lot.
Yeah, I think there's like something like 2 per character. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
but
you get titles that don't change outfit but change stats too.
Yes,
so title.
Yeah, looking at your title stats is actually fairly important because that can change the way you play. So
yeah. This game also has the same thing where there's a lot of interesting things that they bring up and then you just can't do anything about it, or a lot of like problems and stuff where it doesn't appear to be a quest line that you can actually follow at the time. Like when you get to that one like border wall town,
being attacked by the monsters,
and they're being attacked by the monsters, and you're like, well, let me just go kill the boss monster, and they're like, nope, you can't.
Yeah,
but I want to.
Yeah,
nope.
It's that JRPG wall off of like.
Hey, you're on a quest. I mean, it kind of makes sense. You're not.
Yeah, it kind of is.
You're not supposed to be there. Like
and there's all these.
You don't have the freedom to be there yet because you literally are on a quest.
And they don't even like dialogue wise. They don't make any like attempt to disguise that at all. Where they're like. It's just, I don't know, like something interesting will come up and like a person will be like, hey, why don't you join me? And your main character's like, nope.
No.
I'm not going to, no.
As a matter of fact, get fucked.
Yo. Like, I think the last character I have left to get, which is a DLC one, I believe.
Not DLC. She was exclusive to the PS3 version.
Oh, okay. Was she?
Yeah, there's 2 characters that are exclusive to the PS3 version. Yeah, I
thought it was only the pirate girl.
Nope, there's 2. There's 2 characters.
Who is the other one? Because the pirate girl's the only one I have class titles for remaining.
Yeah, there's a girl character. I can't remember her name. I didn't actually get her in my second playthrough yet because she's later in the game. But
is she? How much later? Because Flynn finally joined my party. Like he just joined for the first time. Where I'm at. It's not the Dragon Rider, is it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Huh. Oh well. I mean, I didn't know. I might have to pick up the definitive edition.
Interesting. Then there might be another character that just doesn't have class titles that I still have to get. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting so far. I'm definitely going to keep playing it. A lot of, just kind of dumb puzzles in the game and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
but it's just
that's the.
Yeah,
I haven't really figured cooking out at all, and I wish you could just because they mentioned something briefly about like cooking certain recipes with certain characters unlocking new recipes, but I have not seen that happen, and I've been doing as much cooking as I can. So I'm not really sure how you get that to happen. There's also some like cooking arena, which I have no idea what that's about. So I don't know. There's still definitely a lot to the game, and I'm sure that I'm gonna find more and more. I mean, map-wise, I think I've only explored maybe a quarter of the map. At least as far as how much of the overworld
it's a long
is
game.
Uncovered.
Yeah, it's a long game.
I'm assuming I'm gonna get some kind of like airship or something at some point, but
what, in a JRPG?
In a JRPG or something that makes. Actually, I think the Tales games tend to do more just like teleportation points.
No, you get airships, or you get like
because I don't remember.
Yeah, in Symphonia you got flying air motorcycles.
Oh, okay. I guess I haven't really played Symphonia then.
No, you should.
Because
it's one of my favorite games ever made.
It's a very good story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Bizzaria and whatever one was, I think, before Bizzaria. I can't remember which one that is. I don't think those ones had airships in it or anything like that.
No.
I think Bizzaria just had the like quick, like the surfing thing, and then you had a boat that you couldn't even like drive around the map. You just had to pick locations for it to go. I don't know.
Okay, no, I was wrong. There is Patty is the only playable character. They do add another character in the story that wasn't in the 360 version, but she's not playable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
so Patty is the remaining one.
There's there's a DLC story revolving around a character that isn't playable, but that is what confused me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah,
still a good game.
Yeah,
I might buy it again.
Yeah, it's good.
Actually, good. I have to buy it for the first time.
Yes. Oh yeah, because didn't you borrow my copy?
Yeah, I just borrowed your copy.
Yeah. But so far, I mean, if you like Tales games, definitely it's a Tales game.
It's my favorite Tales game.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of people's case. So far, I think I like the combat better in Bizzaria. Again, I just don't really like this older style attack type. It's the reason that also kind of turned me off from some of the older Star Ocean games.
True that.
But
yeah, we're hitting that time limit. So
yeah, sounds good.
If you want to hand it off to the lovely viewers at home, send your emails.
Yeah.
Tell us your favorite Tales game and why is it Vesperia?
Or join the newest Flame War. You remember the League of Legends versus Dota 2 Flame War?
Yeah, get on that Flame War debate. Like, tell me why is my taste in auto chess shit? Let me know.
Why is mine also shit?
Yeah, let us know who's the shittest taste of all.
And now we just have to wait for the equivalent of fucking Heroes of New Earth auto chess.
Oh yeah, it's just, Blizzard gets in on it super late.
No, not Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of New Earth, Trey.
Yeah, I mean, is that developer even still around?
No.
Oh well, they deserve a grand return.
Yeah,
so
it's time.
And for me,
but either way,
you can let me know how I can heat up my takes. Should I throw it in the microwave? Should I?
Give them your cooking instructions for hot takes.
Yeah. I could really use some good recipes for hot takes. So
way too lukewarm. He's like the avocado of people.
Yeah,
that's cold. Yeah, I can't. Trey, that's the meanest thing I've ever heard someone call someone. That's it. Episode's done. Get out.
Yeah, get out of my house.
Yeah. See you, dumpster goblins.